people worldwide. So 1 billion people it affects. So it's an important disease in humans. And there's another disease, I'm just saying, hookworm. Hookworm is what you call Kokupanwa. That roundworm is called Watapanwa. This is Kokupanwa. There are two species, Nicator americanus and Xylostoma duodenale. But I'm talking here only about Nicator americanus. So it is again some kind of similarities there when the larvae burrow through skin. This is now this time the larva goes through skin. When you go along the muddy in the soil in the muds and the larvae are there. They go through your skin, go to the lungs through the blood or lymph. They go to the lung, and from the lung again, cough and swallow, and that carries to intestine. So the larva goes to intestine. There they feed, and you can see the infected food here. They are the skin infection, right? So they can infect skin, show the symptoms in the skin and places where they go and sometimes settle down. And then another worm is here. This is also, it is good to know. This is the Barawa Panwa. Barawa, you know what Barawa is here in this picture. There's a patient with the swollen elephantosis. It is called elephantosis or filariasis. That is what we call Barawa. And this is the worm you find in this is a blood smear with the worm. So it has been stained. These dark dots are the nuclei of white blood cells. So this is going from mosquito, takes it from human to human. So when it is there, it is in the adults in lymphatic systems. Lymphatic system in Vasa Paddhatiya, in Sinhala we call, and in Vasa Gatiti they are there, and these mosquitoes come and take the blood meal, and in the inside mosquito it develops again, and again go back to another person through the mosquito bite. When the mosquito bite, the microfilaria, this larval form is called the filaria larva. Filaria larva goes to the proboscis of the mosquito. Proboscis is the sucking tube in the mosquito. You know, mosquito in the anterior part, there is a sucking tube. It goes to there and then jump onto the skin of another person when the mosquito feed blood on from that person. So that is how it is going. It is Wuchereria bancrofti. It is known as filariasis. Sri Lanka is now filariasis-free country according to WHO, but there are sporadic cases here and there, especially in the coastal regions from Puntland to Hambantota. And then another worm, a very famous worm, that is why I am showing this. That is Enterobius vermicularis, or pinworm. This is what you call Kiripanua. This Kiripanua also, you know, it lays eggs around, this is the perianal, peri mean around, anal mean, you know, anus, right? Perianal oviposition. So around they come to the outside and around the anus, it lays eggs, and these eggs are then eaten by the different people. These eggs, when they come, it goes to the food and it's in house dust, and it goes to the house dust. And anyway, there are different ways to spread them. By touching also, it can go through the hand also and go to other food and other items. And these eggs are eaten by other people, and they also get the disease. So this is what you call Enterobius vermicularis, that is pinworm. So economic importance, if you look at the group in nematodes, nematode worm infections common among humans and livestock. So that is what I said, that worm infections, hookworm, roundworm, pinworm, and there are filariasis worm. I did 4 types, right? Then you find plant nematode. There are nematode infections in plants also. They are parasitic in plant tissues and they cause, especially root galls. In the root system, they make these galls. Inside these galls, you find nematodes. So these are called root galls, nematode root galls, and these cause severe yield loss in crops like tomato and tea plantation. Even you find this, right? So the plants are not growing properly, right? Okay, so the both to the human livestock and also to plants, they give they are a problem. Nematodes are a problem, right? Then we go to the next phylum, that is phylum Annelida. Now, Annelida, marine, freshwater, terrestrial. So, marine mean, in the sea, freshwater mean land water. So, that is freshwater. Miridia, what you call in Sinhala, Karadiya, Miridia. Marine is Karadiya, right? And freshwater we call always to, not very freshwater. Freshwater in zoology, we refers to Miridia. And terrestrial mean Bhaumika. Bhaumika mean in the soil and all, right? They have a true coelom, and this true coelom can act as a hydrostatic skeleton. I told you hydrostatic skeleton, and there is a cylindrical body, and around the body you find the cuticle, right? Body is divided into lot of segments. That is a name also. Annuli. Annuli mean rings like. So it looks like rings here, right? So this is a annelid worm, and you see in the cross section, if you look at here, you can see the coelom. It is a true coelom because it is surrounded by mesoderm either side. Towards the ectoderm also mesoderm is there. Towards the endoderm also mesoderm is there. So that it is true coelom is surrounded by the mesoderm. So when the fluid is filled, it is called coelomic fluid. With that fluid, it acts as a hydrostatic skeleton, right? Okay, and chaetae or setae or blisters are present. Chaetae, setae, blisters. You know blisters. So these are in Sinhala we call dedicated, right? So in these are the Latin words actually. Chaetae or chaetae, setae or blisters is the English word. They are called chaetae, setae or blisters. They are present. Blood circulatory system. There is a developed blood circulatory system now with hearts, small hearts you find, excretory system with nephridia. Cephalization improved with brain and simple life. Cephalization, I told you, it is the formation of the head. Concentrate one end, the mouth went to one end, and concentration of sense organs around that region. So that region is now called head. So formation of head is called cephalization. Now in these animals, the cephalization is clear. Okay, we will look at this. I explained it. So a lot of segments. Their body is divided into segments. Why are these segments like this? This is called metameric segmentation. This metameric segmentation is the physical and physiological separation into segments. Decentralization. Decentralized, the escape from body size limitations, because these animals, they grow in body size. They grew in body size, but their systems could not be centrally controlled because they were not developed very well to centrally control. Now, like our body, the brain can control, the heart can control the whole body. But in these animals, it was difficult to centrally control. So the body is divided into equal segments. In each these segment, you get a nerve ganglion and a blood stream. It is like a train, long train. Train, it is very difficult to control as a one unit. So they have divided into different compartments. Now each compartment has two pairs of wheels and maybe 5 or 6 sets of seats and everything one side from every system you may find one. So likewise here you get one. This is nephridium is coming from yes, for the excretion, nephridium is there. So one per each segment. So likewise, it is segmented. So it is to escape from body size limitation because they can now grow into bigger bodies. But it is like a train and divided into compartments. So the control is very easy, right? And development of coelom, independent internal movements because coelomic fluid can take things from the top end to the other posterior end. Okay, we will go to classes. There are 3 classes: Polychaeta, Oligochaeta, and Hirudinea. Now, Polychaeta. Now, poly here means uh, large number. You know, poly means bahu. Chaeta means daddy candy. You get lot of daddy candy or chaetae in this group animals. So they are marine forms. Many chaetae or setae in parapodia. Parapodia, poda is leg. That is how arthropoda comes. Poda means always legs. Parapoda means side. In the side you find these parapodia. Parapodium is a singular. You see, this is nereis. Just to show the size of the nereis, this picture has been taken with a coin, right? When you enlarge the anterior end, you find a lot of sensory organs around the mouth. Mouth is situated here, and from each segment, a pair of parapodia and going. These parapodia are there are a lot of chaetae or blisters coming from these parapodia. So a lot of blisters or chaetae, then we call polychaeta. This class is polychaeta. Example is nereis. So this is the simple structure of nereis. Head and the anal cirri. Cirri mean again projections. So these are tiny words. Don't worry too much about this. Peristomum, protostomum. These are Latin words actually. Stomum means always the mouth. Peri means around the mouth. The segment is called peristomum. Protostomum, in front of the mouth there is another segment like a hood over the mouth. So it is protostomum, protostomium. So stoma is mouth. Just remember these words are coming repeatedly in zoology, Latin words. So, okay, this is nereis, this is polychaeta, and then the next one is oligochaeta. Oligo means a little. Here the setae or bristles, very little. The example here is Gadavilla or the earthworms, right? So very tiny setae, you can't even see those things with the naked eye. So you know Gadavilla very well. This is Gadavilla, and I'll just take these 2 terms again: poly and oligo. Poly you call polysaccharide. Polysaccharide is a long chain of carbohydrate. Oligosaccharide is a small, very small, short chain. Likewise, you get a polypeptide. Polypeptide means a long chain of amino acids. Oligopeptide means a short chain of amino acids. And you get polynucleotide, is a long chain of nucleotides. Oligonucleotide is a short chain. Like oligo means always small, lesser number, and poly means high number, poly, and oligo. So it is easy to remember, chaetae. Here, oligochaetae, very little number of chaetae. They are terrestrial, freshwater, or marine, or 3. Few chaetae or setae. FW I have put for freshwater or muridia, right? Hermaphrodites. Hermaphrodites mean both sexes in the same animal. Male and female sex organs both are in that means ovaries and testes both are in the same animal. Genital openings open at clitellum region. This is the clitellum. This is a clitellum. If you look at the earthworm, you can find swollen, slimy region. Swollen, slimy region, and that is the clitellum. This region, the genital openings open. So they have both testes and ovaries. When they are called hermaphrodites. Now, when this happens in animals, when they have both sexes in the same animal, they do not allow their eggs to be fertilized with their own sperm. They always go for cross fertilization. That means they give the one thing mature first and the other thing mature in another later. The sperms mature first so that the ova of the same animal are not matured at that time, so that self fertilization is prevented. So what they do is, when their sperms are mature, they pass it to another animal, and that animal ova are matured. So when the ova are matured in that animal, so they pass this, and so it is like this. Sometimes they give the other animal sperms, and they get the ova from that animal, right? So they give sperm, and they get the they give the sperm to the other animal, and they get the sperm from that animal to fertilize their ova. So this is cross fertilization. So that this one animal's worm's sperm is always going to fertilize with the ova of the other worm. So this is the mechanism. So exchange. Two places are there in exchange. So you can see here the clitellum inject to this one. Here the clitellum of this animal inject to this one. Right? So this is how they copulate. Copulation takes place like this, or earthworm mating. Right? This is Oligochaeta. And there is another group that is class Hirudinea. Hirudinea means leeches. We got leeches here in this group. Leeches, you know, that they have suckers in the two ends. This is the posterior sucker. There is an anterior sucker as well. And here the mouth is there. They just suck blood through that. Anterior and posterior suckers. These suckers, I told you, they are just like the rubber band in the fridge door. In the fridge door, there is a rubber band. I said, when you close the door, this rubber band acts as a sucker. It is so it sticks the door to the other part, right? Okay, these are suckers. So they are also this around the mouth also you get that, around the anus also you get. So anterior and posterior suckers. Saliva contains hirudin. That is how the name of the class has come. This hirudin stop blood clotting while they are feeding. They take the blood meal from the host. When they are taking the blood meal, our blood can be coagulated. So clot. This hirudin chemical is there in their saliva that stop blood clotting and anesthetize the host locally. It gives a local anesthesis. When the leech bites us, it gives a local anesthesis first, so that we don't feel that the leech is taking the blood, right? It is because it has hirudin in its saliva, right? We will go to the economic importance. If you look at these earthworms are very, very important. They have a very high economic importance because they contribute to soil formation and improvement of soil. So they make tunnels, improve aeration and drainage in the soil. They are mixing soil layers. They improve tilth, physical condition of soil, by passing soil through the gut. That means they eat soil. They eat soil and they get the nutrition, they digest the organic matter, but then pass through the gut, and that soil is, they say, physically very conditioned, improve the tilth. And you must have heard that Gadavila Goviyagi Miturehi. That is because it is improving the soil condition, right? So the next phylum we are going to talk about his phylum Arthropoda. Arthropoda, it is again large and very large, diverse animals are there. You know these animals, so just you know these animals, and it is not difficult because all these animals you know. What only thing is scientifically now we are looking at them. Scientifically we are looking at them, and basic features you identify scientifically. So phylum Arthropoda, terrestrial, low aquatic. Terrestrial means Bhaumika. When I say Bhaumika, it is in the soil or in the air, right? Air also, you know, insects can fly, so that is terrestrial we call. Or aquatic means they are in water, right? Aquatic, sea water or fresh water. Have an exoskeleton, you know, all these arthropods. Arthro mean jointed, poda mean legs. Jointed legs in Latin, arthro, poda in Greek. Arthro mean jointed, poda mean Latin, right? Jointed appendages, appendages mean legs. Have an exoskeleton, very hard exoskeleton they have, you know, on all the Curuminia and all. You get the beetles, you get a hard skeleton. Distinct cephalization, head is very clear. And tagmatization, you get usually three tagma, head, thorax and abdomen. I will come to that later. Tagma, the head with brain, compound eyes and antennae. So head is well developed, good cephalization. Open blood circulatory system. Hemocoel is here, sorry, coelom is reduced. Instead of that, blood circulatory system has opened up. Their blood circulatory tubes are, it's an open system we call, instead of a closed vascular system, it is an open system. It just, it is everywhere in the body, and it is all the organs systems, other organ system are surrounded by this open blood system. That is called hemocoel. So that is also cavity-like. The cavity is filled with now blood. So it is called hemocoel. Hemo means, you know, it refers to blood, right? Hemocoel. Open blood circulatory system present with the dorsal heart. So dorsal heart is there. So it pumps this blood for circulation. But there are no in addition, the heart is a good blood. It is a modified blood vessel, but only that one, only the heart. All the other area is just a big cavity filled with blood. Right? This is called hemocoel. Coelom is greatly reduced. Right, we'll go to this tagmatization. I just mentioned here distinct cephalization and tagmatization, head, thorax, and abdomen. What is tagmatization? Tagmatization is the grouping of adjoining segments into morphologically distinct regions of tagma to perform specialized functions. Now you can see here the body of an insect I'm showing here. This is divided into, now the group before the arthropods was annelids. Annelida, lot of body divided into segments from the anterior end to the posterior end. Now when it comes to arthropoda, this divided these segments, now closely situated segments group together to form a tagma. They group together to form a tagma. These tagma are for specialized functions. So that the segments which are placed next to each other group together to perform a specific function. Here in insect body, three tagma we can identify: head, thorax and abdomen. Head is special function. Its function is feeding because mouth parts are there, and sensory function. They can see all the antennas there and eyes are there. So it is sensory and feeding. And the thorax, they have three pairs of legs coming out from the thoracic segments. These are thoracic segments. And two pairs of wings coming out from the second and third thoracic segments. So four wings and hind, two pairs. So the thorax function is locomotion. And then you get the abdomen, several segments. After that, they can become very, very big when they are filled with eggs. So the reproductive system and the major part of the digestive system is there. So this is a digestive system. Up to the abdomen, it is just a tube. But here the enlarged part of the digestive system you find. So male it is digestion and reproduction, and thorax for locomotion, head for sensory and feeding. So this is stegmatization. Body is arranged into three stegma. Okay, we will go to different classes. There are different classes coming under phylum Arthropoda. Class Crustacea, you know it is very famous. These prawns are coming under that. Prawns and shrimps, crabs, they all come under class Crustacea. In the class Crustacea, if you take this prawn, right? This head and thorax are joined together. It is called cephalothorax. Head and thorax joined together. Cephalo means always head. Cephalo means head. Encephalitis means molea idemi, right? Cephalo means head. Cephalopoda means in the head you get limbs, appendages, then you call cephalopoda. Cephalo is head, right? So cephalization comes from the cephalization formation of the head is called cephalization. Cephalothorax is head plus thorax. It is called cephalothorax, right? It is, and then the abdomen is there, right? And then prawns have walking legs. They can walk, and also these are swimming legs. And the abdomen you find swimming legs. In the thorax region you find walking legs. And finally you find the uropod, and there is two pairs of antennae, and eyes are well developed. Head and thorax used to form a cephalothorax which is covered by a carapace. Carapace extends to a rostrum over the head. This is the rostrum. Carapace is a thick cover. Carapace is a thick cover of the cuticle cover. It is extended to form a rostrum over the head. Two pairs of antennae, one long one and a short pair. And uropod acts as a tail fan for balancing. This acts as a tail fan, right? This is a Crustacea. In this group, in this class, you find prawns, you find crabs, and you find these very, very small zooplanktons. Zooplanktons, they are microscopic, Daphnia. We will learn them later when under ecology maybe. Daphnia, they are very microscopic, and they are very tiny animals. They also belong to this Crustacea. Basic features are there. And these things, have you noticed in this is you can see the size of this. This is a hand of a person. So these are very small. You can see very small. These are called gooseneck barnacles. We call in the seashore. These are very, very common on the rocks. You can find sometimes these gooseneck barnacles. They are called Belianean. In singular, we call Belianean. Each one is like this. Inside these two, the shell. Inside the shell, you can find a prawn-like creature upside down but attached. It is attached. By moving the legs, which are upside now, they can create a water current through this, and that is how they catch food particles by creating a water current. Their legs are coming out and moving fast to make a water current, right? So the same, similar one, these are Belianean, and these are called barnacles. These are also, you must have seen these things over the rocks in the seashore. In the seashore, if you go along and the rocks, you find these structures. These are barnacles, right? They are also same. Inside of each of these small prawn-like creature upside down, and they are attached. Legs are at the top, so the opening end legs, they can move the legs and create the water current and then get the food inside. Then we go to the next class. This is class Crustacea, coming under Arthropoda. Next class I'm going to talk about is class Myriapoda. Myriapoda mean millions of poda mean legs. Poda mean legs. You get here large number of legs. Subclass Diplopoda. And Diplopoda you get millipedes. Millipedes is again millions of pets here. In Latin again refers to poda like appendages, right? So you get in class Myriapoda you get millipedes. These are called in signal Hackerella. Hackerella you must have you know Hackerella, and it has lot of legs, right? Each segment has two pairs of legs. The body divided to head, thorax, and abdomen. So in this close picture, you can see the head, and the next big one here is thorax, and then the rest of the body is the abdomen, right? They are cylindrical. They are cylindrical. They can form roll to a ball, right? When you touch them, they roll into a ball. Two pairs of walking legs per abdominal segment. They are millipedes. Then there is another subclass Hylopoda. Hylopoda, you get centipedes. Here millions of pets, here centipedes. Centi mean hundred, hundreds of pets. Not like million, little less. Hylopoda, you get centipedes. Centipedes mean pattaya. Here you get Hackerella, here you get pattaya. You get only head and trunk for the abdomen, right? The thorax and abdomen are fused to form a trunk. Dorso-ventrally flattened. They are flat. Up and downside, they are flat dorso-ventrally. And one pair of walking legs per segment. In here, you get two pairs of walking legs. That is why it looks like a million. Now, this is 100 in centipedes. So only one pair is there. So that not million. So this is centipede. Poisonous fangs, they got near the mouth. This is the ventral side. Ventral means udariya darshana. Ventral beak of the mouth region, head region. You can see the poisonous fangs coming. You know pattaya is visai, right? Okay. Then we go to class insecta. I have already discussed this. Insecta, you get insects. You get three tagma, head, thorax, and abdomen, and you get three pairs of legs and a pair of wings, right? Pair of wings, sorry, it should be two pairs of wings, two pairs of wings. It should be corrected as two pairs of wings, right? Two pairs you get because this, the second and third, one pair is the second thoracic segment, third thoracic segment, another pair, right? Two pairs of wings. So if you go here, you can see only one pair here because the second pair has modified to halters, right? This is, you can see in mayfly, dragonfly, you can see two, and also in mosquitoes, you can get only one pair. Second pair is reduced to make halters, right? But usually you get two pairs. In mosquito also, one pair, second pair reduced to halters. The halters are acting for balance of when they are flying, these are balance controllers. Okay, you get honeybees, and this is the insect flying. So you can see the insect, the wings are in the fly. Okay, this is sometimes in this this is beetle, right? In the beetles, the front pair, these four wings, right? Four wings are modified to make elytra. Elytra means very thick cover. They can cover the whole body. Four wings are very it has lot of it is very thick cuticle, and it is not used basically in flying, but they used to cover the body, right? They can cover the body like this. So this is a beetle, and this is agriculturally important insect, right? It's a paddy bug, it looks like, right? It's a bug. And all these sort of different insects are there, you know. I'm not going into detail, I'm just trying to show you different types. There comes another one of the famous groups, arachnids, right? Arachnida, you find all these mapulua spiders, right? So here, body is divided to cephalothorax and abdomen. Cephalothorax means head and thorax. It is called prosoma in these animals. Prosoma and opistosoma. Soma means, I told you earlier, soma means body. Pro mean anterior part of the body. Opisto mean posterior part. Opisto mean posterior. Soma is body. So posterior part of the body is the abdomen, cephalothorax anterior. So prosoma, opistosoma. And you get chelicerae, pedipalp, these are mouth parts, feeding and defense, sometimes poison or silk glands coming from these pedipalp. Don't worry about too much about these, but the body form I'm just explaining you. They have chelicerae, pedipalps, and 4 pairs of walking legs. So we say that 6 pairs of appendages, chelicerae, pedipalps, and 4 pairs of walking legs coming from the cephalothorax. And abdomen, no legs again. Like in insects, walking legs are coming from the thorax or cephalothorax. 4 pairs of walking legs are there, right? You know this group very well. You must have seen compound eyes are there. You must have seen spiders. Spiders, you can see 4 pairs of walking legs, pedipalps, chelicerae, and 4 pairs of walking legs, right? And the scorpion, this also comes into this one. Here the opistosoma, prosoma is this one. Opistosoma is divided again into 2, mesosoma and metasoma. You don't need to go into those classifications. But at the end of this opistosoma, there is a sting. This is the poisonous sting. It can bite people. When the scorpion or gonusa bite the people, it just curve the tail like this and hit the person, the skin, hit on the skin, right? So this is the poisonous spine at this end. And this is another, ticks and mites you find in your dog. In your dogs you find dog ticks, and mites also you find the ear mites, and on the skin they are ectoparasites. Ectoparasites mean outside the body they live and they feed on the blood and body tissues, right? They are ticks and mites. And this is a special type of this arachnid. It is called horseshoe crab. It lives in where mostly you find in the Atlantic Sea. Atlantic Sea shore, you find a lot of these creatures. They are called horseshoe crab. But it is called crab, although it is called crab, it is not a crustacean. It is an arachnid. Underside, if you look at clearly, these arachnid features, basic features, all these features are there. So, but it looks like a crab, so people used to call it horseshoe crab. Okay. And the next group is the phylum Mollusca. In phylum Mollusca means soft-bodied animals. Soft-bodied animal, Mollusca means, in singular we call Murdvangi. Murdvangi means Mrudu, they here, right? Like soft-bodied animals. There you find all the snail and all. Mostly marine or freshwater. Freshwater means Karadi or Miridi. Some are terrestrial. Terrestrial means land snails, so they are terrestrial. Hemocoel is present. That means an open circulatory system with a dorsal heart. A little trace of segmentation. Little trace. You can't find segmentation now. Cephalization is clear. Okay. The body mainly divided into 3 parts. Head, muscular foot, and the visceral mass. This is the head. This is the muscular foot. And this is the visceral mass. Many with exoskeleton. Exoskeleton is this, Golubella or the snail. You have the shell of the snail. That's why it is an exoskeleton. Skeleton outside the body, right? Some have endoskeleton. A foot scraping structure called radula is present in the mouth. So this is the radula. So okay, see here, this is a snail and this is a foot. This is the foot enlarged version, and this is the mouth, and this is the radula. Here it is radula. Here this is the radula, right? It can scrape food using this one. It is like a tongue, but fixed at both ends it is fixed, but it can be everted outside and scrape the food, right? Hiramane Dati Wage, it can scrape the food and take the food in. So with this one, the snails can you see on the rocks, land rocks, you find a lot of algal growth, algae you find DSML. These snails can go and scrape those DSML and take it, right? So this special structure you find only in mollusks. So this special tongue-like thing which can be everted or which is fixed in both sides and scrape the food and take in, it is called radula. A food scraping structure called radula is present in mouth. So these are the special features of mollusca. Phylum mollusca there you can find different groups here, right? So basically I'm going to explain four basic groups. This is our famous snails, gastropoda snails, and gastropoda. This is, if you see, you can see the foot here, and this is the ancestral one, hypothetical. No animal is like that. This is a hypothetical form where they originally came from. People think, scientists think, a creature like this has given rise to these different groups. So here you can see the mouth, and then it goes the alimentary canal or the digestive system goes, and this tube open to a cavity here. This cavity is called mantle cavity. This cavity is open to the outside from here. Inside this cavity there is a gill. Gill means, jalaklomi. Gill is therefore because in aquatic and freshwater forms, this cavity is filled with water. So this is a respiratory surface, gill is there. This water is not there in land scales. Land snails, no water here. It is filled with air. So they don't have gills. Land snails don't have gills. They are the mantle cavity surface act as a respiratory surface. So this is the mantle cavity. And this is the foot. This is the head. You find antennae, and this is the visceral mass where it is outside, covered in this case in gastropods. Most of the gastropods you find a shell externally, and you get below the shell a thick layer of body cover. That thick layer of body cover is called mantle, right? It is called mantle. So you find the foot, muscular foot, radula, and the mantle cavity, and the gill, and the gut, and the shell, and the mantle. I explain all those. These are gastropoda. Earlier people looked at them and they thought that this is the snail and this is the stomach of the snail. But since it is using the stomach as a leg, you know what I mean here. In Sinhala we call badagaginyanwa. Badagaginyanwa means bada is acting as legs. So that means they put gastropoda. Gastro is stomach ulcers and all. Gastric ulcers, gastro means stomach. So gastropoda means badagaginyanwa looks like. So they thought that they keep that name. And when it comes to the next group, it is the squids. Squids you find the cephalopoda. Do you find tentacles? Actually, it is a modified foot. But people first thought when they look at these are legs. So they gave the name cephalopoda. Cephalo means head. Poda means legs. Legs coming from the head. They gave the name cephalopoda, right? Actually, these are tentacles around the mouth, and the foot is modified to form tentacles. here also you can see these structures. Mantle cavity is there, and the gill is there in the squid, and the anus open to the mantle cavity. And here sometimes you find an internal shell. You see in what you call Dalipotta. Dalipotta, I think it is called squid, a flat squid type is there. There you find the internal skeleton, right? And another group comes, same structures here. It is called bivalves. Here also you can see the food, but this is a sedentary form. Sedentary is what? Sedentary, I told you about when I was talking about porifera. I told you about sedentary. Sedentary mean what what life sedentary is that. So sedentary life they are having, therefore the head is reduced. Head is not there, so that foot is there, gill is there, mantle cavity is there, mantle is there, so that their body is covered with two shells. And you find this is another form, that is a titans you find it here. You call Atapialla. Here also you can find the mantle cavity and the mantle. You find the basic features like these are Titan or Atapialla. This goes. This here you find 8 plates around the body, and the gut is going there, mantle is there, mantle cavity is there. A series of gills here find. The foot is there. Okay, we will go into detail. This is the basic structure of all these animals, comes under phylum Mollusca. You go to this chitin first, Polyplacopora. Poly means several, placo means plates. Phora means Dharana. Phora always Dharana. Polyplacopora. So these are Atapialla. When you go to the seashore, on the rocks you can find these Atapialla. It is very, very difficult to remove them. Very hardly stick to the use in the foot, muscular foot. In the ventral surface, it is going around the foot, and there are a lot of gills in the mantle cavity. This is the mantle cavity, and this is the head is reduced and the mouth is here. So this is the basic structure I explained you. Mouth is there, foot is there, and the radula is there. And don't worry too much about other things. Anus is there. This is the mantle cavity going around. So it is, man, this is this one. So it is Polyplacopora. Chitin is coming. It is Atapialla. What has happened here? The body is dorsoventrally flattened. Dorsoventrally flattened. 8 overlapping shell plates. So we called, in singular we called Atapialla. Mantle cavity extend to either side. So mantle cavity goes around the body, right? Several pairs of gills, so tinidia, right? Several pairs of gills. So that is Polyplacopora. Chitin comes under that. Then comes Gastropoda. Gastropoda means snails. All the snails come here. In some of them, I explained you basic features of a snail. Now in some, this shell is coiled. Land snails are air breathing through the wall of mantle cavity. I told you that also. So there are snails without the shell. Without the shell, you must have seen this live. It's on your bathroom. Sometimes you find this creature. This is called in Sinhala. I can't remember the name. This is a snail without the shell, right? And all these different shells, right? Also, you know, this is Sancus, Huggedia. Huggedia also comes under Mollusca class Gastropoda, right? And different shapes, the shell, and marine, freshwater, and terrestrial. All three, they are there. And then in the sea, this is a marine, this is a nudibranch. Nudibranch means they don't have a shell. And the gills are open. These are because there is no shell. they are naked because that is the nude mean naked. Branch mean branch, B-R-A-C-H. Branch mean gills in Latin, right? It gills. Nude branch mean gills are open, not covered, right? Nude branch, they are beautiful sea animals. This is a sea snail, very very colorful, beautiful, right? There are a lot of nudibranchs are there in the sea, right? Okay, so this is class gastropoda. Next, we will go to the next one, that is class bivalvia. Bivalvia, you get bivalves, mussels, and oysters. These are called matti, and all these you know bivalves, right? Two-valve shell, head reduced. I explained briefly to you the basic features of mollusca. Mollusca is there, foot is there, and the mantle cavity and the gill is there. This is one shell removed like this. When you remove one shell, you can see all these structures in the other one, right? Because the elementary canal is this is a sedentary form, therefore the head is reduced. You can't see any uh, sense organs, lot.
Recording stopped.
Hello, can you hear me? Hello.
Yes, sir.
Okay, I lost my host status, but it is now okay, I think. Um, just wait a minute, something happened.
Recording in progress.
Can you hear me? Hello?
Yes, sir.
Okay, I will continue then, right? Okay. So yes, this is the, when you remove one shell, it looks like this. And what I was telling is, if they are unable to move around, they should bring food towards them. So they create water current through the body. It comes in and goes out. In some bivalves, you find two siphons, water coming and water going. So two valve shells, reduced head, large elongated gills, filter feeders. Filter feeders mean they bring in food in water and filter it and eat. So radula is absent because they don't need a radula now because they are not going to the food. Food is coming, they filter and eat. Wedge-like food. This food is like a wedge. Wedge mean in Sinhala wedge we call kunya. Or kunya gavage, these can uh, put that to the sand and kunya gahalavage, they can stay there. Right? That is called. So this comes bivalvia. So this is this makes lot of delicious dishes in not in Sri Lanka, but recently I have seen bivalves in some supermarkets, right? But it is a delicious food in other countries. And also, when the sand particles goes inside the body into the mantle cavity between the mantle and the outer shell, they can make the to avoid the irritation from the sand particle, they secrete chemicals around that sand particle. They secrete, once they start secreting, they can't stop the secretion. So that they secrete and secrete and secrete, and ultimately it it becomes a pearl. That is how the pearls are coming. Natural pearls are coming like that. So you can artificially put sand particles into the bivalves and get the pearls from them. So this is called pearl fishery. So this is a pearl, natural pearl in when the when you dissect a bivalve. So bivalves, a lot of shapes are there. So they are good food. I said. The other class is cephalopoda. Cephalopoda you get octopus, squids, and cuttlefish. Here they are sometimes you get the external shell. For example, there is a one form. It has nautilus. It has external shell, but other normal squids they don't have. But in sepia, that is a cuttlefish, you get the internal shell. Sepia mean cuttlefish. It is in we call Dalipotra, right? Squid is Della. Dalipotra is inside that you get a potta, that means internal shell. Well developed head and eyes, very well developed, like fish. Their eyes are very sharp and they are voracious predators. Voracious predators. And foot is modified to arms and tentacles. Swimming by jet propulsion. What is jet propulsion? I just tell you about jet propulsion. That's all I'm going to. Now these are arms and this is the mouth and gut open through the mental cavity and the gill is there. Okay, that just will give it. And when this in the mental cavity, they can close the mental cavity open. When the squid is there, you can put the finger to one side inside, right? Inside there is a cavity you can feel in the fish market. If you get a squid, you can feel this is a cavity there. And they can close the cavity by this. And there is a small siphon here. Siphon is a small piece of tube. Both ends open. You can just see a squid and press this. What they do is they tightly close this mantle, these are muscular, they tightly close this, they fill water to the mantle cavity, tightly close the mantle and expel the water through the siphon. So get a large volume of water to the mantle cavity, close the surrounding by pressing this on the siphon and expel all this water through the siphon. So this is called jet propulsion. It's like a jet. This water ejection takes. So because of this high power water ejection, they move forward. Forward mean to which side? They move to this side. It looks like they are going backwards because they move this side, because the water they expel to this side. When they the jet also, when they expel the gas this side, the jet moves to this side, right? Here also they through the siphon they push water to expel water through the siphon. They open the mantle, get a large volume of water to the mantle cavity, close the mantle, and then expel through the siphon. So they move forward in this side. So this is very beautiful. If you have seen videos, you can see that looks like they are going backwards, and they go and stay. Why? Because they have to fill the mantle cavity again. Say so they go like this, stay, go like this, and go like this because they have from time to time they have to stop to get water to the mantle cavity, right? Okay, so this is cephalopod example. Nautilus. This has an external shell. I told you this is the external shell. Don't worry too much about the structure of these things. This is a squid, and this is octopus. This is they are going as a group. They are going as a group, in the sea, and they are moving backwards like they go and but they can swim very fast swimmers, and they are voracious feeders. They go and catch the prey and eat. And the economic importance of mollusks, if you look at, they make a very good seafood, good seafood. And pearl fishery is a very economic industry in some countries, and also the shells of mollusks make a lot of ornaments. So I have come to the end of now. There is only one phylum under invertebrate, that is the phylum Echinodermata. We will do the Echinodermata next time, and then we will move to the next last phylum Chordata. So that's all. You finish all the animals, right? These are beautiful animals, and we will look at the Echinodermata. They are also very beautiful. Echino mean Hatu. Hatu mean the spines like the thorns like, right? Echino mean Hatu. Dermata, you know, derm I told you. The endoderm, ectoderm, madhyacharmya, bicharmya, like dermatologists, charma visheshatnya, we call dermatologists. Derm is charmya. In the skin, you find lot of echines. Echines means hatu are coming, or thorns, right? And that is why they are called echinodermata. Next day we will discuss phylum echinodermata. Okay, so I'll finish my lecture now, and thank you very much. Do you have any questions? If you have any questions, you can ask me. Or any comments? Any comments or questions? Yes, do you understand what I teach you? Nobody wants to talk. All clear. Good. Okay, okay then. Thank you very much and good night. Right?